Everyone has a purpose here. And that's what the cats of Pet City tell our group as soon as they arrive. But what happens when your purpose doesn't fit within their strict set of rules? Welcome back to Comic Drops, where we take an intellectual look at today's comics. Today, we're discussing Feral issue number 14, and we're diving into a story that takes the already fractured group dynamics of Elsie, Lord, and Gigi, and the others, and takes it to a whole new level. We have a strange new leader, a cult-like set of rules, and a lot of hate directed at a certain cat who we all love to argue over. Tony Fleece, Trish Forstner, and this creative team have put together another excellent and emotionally charged issue that will make you question whose side you're really on. So, will Pet City be the sanctuary they've been searching for, or just another nightmare disguised as paradise? With everything from power struggles, emotional outbursts, and a shocking final page that changes everything, you're going to want to check out this issue of Feral, so stay tuned. Feral number 14 picks up right where the previous issue left us, with the cats finally inside Pet City and immediately confronted by the eerie Sphinx cat who greets them ominously. Outsiders. You come from the out there, in through the sky like birds, but you are not birds. Where are your people? Will they come from the sky too? And right off the bat, this strange speech evokes the nonsensical ramblings of the ladies' cats from earlier in this series and sets a distinctly cultish tone. And I really hope these cats are not about to go down this road again. The Sphinx cat soon introduces himself as Nico, self-proclaimed ruler of Pet City. But he also clarifies that his role isn't what the group might think. He's not the king or a tyrant of the cats inside, more like the enforcer of their rules. As you'll see later, he makes sure everyone present knows the rules constantly without ceasing. And Nico explains solemnly, "We were born here, and we will die here." Now this immediately underscores how the cats in Pet City have never known anything outside of the store. They were bred to be sold, locked away their entire lives, and this touches again on the series' subtle but sharp critique of animal mistreatment. From Lord being declawed to the lady hoarding animals in squalor, Feral consistently weaves real-world issues into its narrative without becoming preachy. And this arc seems especially focused on the horror of lifelong captivity. Kudos to Tony Fleece for cleverly inserting this into the narrative, and more on this in a bit. However, Gigi is naturally skeptical and asks if Nico is really in charge. He responds that while he enforces the rules, the one truly in charge is Mother Helena, who Nico says is the beginning and the end. Of course, for readers, you can see the religious undertones seeping into the dialogue here, and it's impossible to ignore the cult-like nature of Pet City. Unfortunately, it doesn't get much better from here. Elsie, who was starting to redeem herself beginning with last issue, speaks up here, using common sense. I don't like this. And honestly, I don't blame Elsie here. After everything these cats have endured, caution seems wise. Elsie being the voice of reason in the last issue, and this one is refreshing to say the least. And I'm surprised at the subversion of audience expectations here. But then we get more insight into what is really going on in Pet City. Nico, speaking of himself as the ruler of Pet City, says, "Everyone has a purpose. That is mine." Lord, meanwhile, seems equal parts fascinated and horrified by these cats' total ignorance of the outside world. Nico explains that cats used to come and go, but none have come for many closings. A sad detail that speaks to the monotony of their lives here at Pet City, where even the passage of time is measured by store closings. It has to be a painful existence for sure, seeing a world outside knowing that you will never be able to experience it. Then Nico leads the group through the store and explains to them the benefits of living there. However, these other cats watch them with an unsettling intensity. It's almost as if these cats have really never seen any other cats from the out there. Nico then outlines how things really work in Pet City. There are private lounging areas scattered throughout. We have everything that you could need, and you are welcome to it. Sounds nice, right? but you know as well as I do that there's always a catch in situations like these. Everyone has a purpose here. Those who fulfill their purpose are welcome to all that Pet City has to give. Yep, there it is, the price of comfort. Work for your keep. It seems like there are already several red flags being waved around to warn our group of cats that Pet City might not be the oasis they thought it was. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Elsie takes the common sense approach here and voices what we're all thinking. I don't understand. What does that mean? Nico explains that cats are divided into roles in Pet City: gatherers, food bringers, tidiers, and discipliners. So each cat seems to have a defined role within it, a job that they must take on to enjoy its perks. Always being ones to say the obvious, one of the kittens aptly sums up all of this with a comical, "the weirdos." Hey, they're just calling it like they see it, in my opinion. And then Chloe, still hopelessly brainwashed from her time with the lady, defends them. I think they're nice. Really? Of course she would say that. And then we find out more about the end-all, be-all of Pet City, Mother Helena. And according to Nico, she determines each cat's purpose. Once she determines their value. Yep, even more cultish here. So yet another red flag is waved by these cultish cats. Everyone has to be deemed valuable by Mother Helena to live in Pet City. So to summarize so far, each cat has to have a job and has to have some value. However, these two things can only be determined by Mother Helena. Got it. And when Lucky tries to come up with a plan to get Moosh inside, Nico shuts him down, saying it's forbidden to open the doors. Even when Lucky warns of rabid animals outside, Nico seems genuinely clueless about what he's talking about, which I find interesting. Have these cats been cooped up in Pet City so long that they do not even realize what is happening outside? Well, it surely seems that way. Then we cut back to Gigi and the kittens who are surrounded by Pet City shut-ins who apparently have never seen kittens before. This is really creepy behavior. We have not seen any that are like this. But Gigi snaps back at them. What in the hell does that mean? Of course you have. Half of these cats are pregnant right now. And that last line is chilling. I mentioned earlier how Tony Fleece weaves real-world issues into these comics. And this seems to be another one. Animal mills are horrific in a lot of ways. But these cats continuing the abuse they received at the hands of humans who have long since left Pet City is another thing entirely. The implications here are horrifying. And it may just be yet another reason to be paranoid about what has happened behind closed doors at Pet City. However, Lucky calms Gigi down, and Nico offers her a place to rest, and the kittens also apologize for causing a scene. Elsie, who seems to be the only one who is level-headed and using common sense in this issue, again expresses what we're all thinking. I'm not sure how I'm feeling here. We're safe from bad kind, but after the lady's house, I'm extra suspicious of weird-ass cats. And of course, Chloe is offended by this. Annoyingly brainwashed Chloe. The Chloe who defended the lady even after she was infected and tried to kill all of them. I can't stand Chloe. Even Gigi admits she has a weird feeling about the place, but then has to throw in a jab against Elsie again here. If you're worried about this place being like the lady's house, just don't open any doors. Now that the cats feel somewhat safe, it seems like it's the time to let out all their anger, grief, and frustration. But Gigi isn't ready to forgive Elsie for past mistakes, and honestly, I can't blame her. With this line here, a string of absolute brutal criticisms start to be leveled at Elsie. And just like the last issue, these are all things that we as readers of this comic have wanted to say to Elsie this entire time. While I can't say that I support one over the other, this is just another example of Tony Fleece's skill as a writer, to depict the relationships of these characters in believable fashion, and also tear it all apart between Elsie and Gigi. On a more positive note, Lord is eager to explore Pet City. Didn't you see how awesome it is out there? Entire aisles of toys and treats. Despite Gigi's protests, Lucky encourages the kittens to go with him. And Lord and the others head off while Lucky leads Gigi into a room where she finally lets her guard down. Now, it was already suspicious when Lucky closed the door behind him and Gigi, but then he embraces Gigi and they kiss. Now, I know this is supposed to be a tender moment, but this is suspicious. Yes, there have been tender and emotional moments in this series, but I feel like this moment just doesn't fit for some reason. Hopefully it serves a narrative purpose somewhere down the road. Meanwhile, Elsie tries to caution Lord about running all over the place, of course, but he pushes back, and we're presented with example number 2 of Elsie getting her due diligence. Don't do that. Look, I'm glad that we're here, that we're both safe, but I'm still kind of working through a lot of just don't tell me what to do. The look on Elsie's face says it all. Her poor decisions have left her alienated, and no one seems to trust her at this point despite her successful plan from the last issue. And one thing I haven't touched on yet either is Trish Forstner's excellent and emotive artwork from these scenes. Each of the more emotionally focused scenes in this issue is further enhanced by her artwork. But just wait until the next scene featuring Lord. It's a standout for sure. And then comes dinner. A really weird dinner. All the cats are summoned to pick from piles of food, but before anyone can eat, Nico stops them. No one eats before Mother Helena. Okay, whatever you say. Where's she at? Well, enter Mother Helena, a massive, chunky cat surrounded by kittens who has obviously given birth recently. This is the leader and queen of Pet City, really? And without even acknowledging Nico, she complains about the food. The balance isn't right. Is Axel using grain-free mix? And at this point, it's confirmed. These cats are so far removed from the outside world it's laughable. This is some sort of aristocrat sect of cat cults. Mother Helena looks down on everyone she deems as below her. And I'm calling it right now that everyone in some way serves her needs in Pet City. And now Lord, of course, can't help himself. Yeah, I'm with Mother Superior here. This tastes gross. And Lord got her name wrong. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Lord. Then Lord takes it upon himself to move toward another room looking for better food. But that is certainly not allowed in Pet City. Nico yells at him. That is not your purpose. When Axel emerges from this room and also scolds him, Lord protests, prompting Nico to summon the discipliners. And here we go. Any cat who stands alone outside purpose will be subject to swift and final discipline. And wait, what is final discipline? Seems like a death sentence to me, and now we're treading into weird and deadly territory. If you thought something was off about Pet City earlier, you should definitely be worried now. When Nico asks if anyone stands with Lord, it's Lucky, surprisingly, not Elsie, who steps forward. He's with me. Nico allows them to share in their punishment. No food for 2 closings. But the cultish undertones here are undeniable, and really go to reinforce again the sheltered and out-of-touch nature of these cats. Everything is measured by closings and Mother Helena's will. Afterward, Lord storms off saying, I didn't do anything. Later, Elsie attempts to apologize to Lucky about Lord's behavior, but Lucky is not having it. You need to get your boy under control fast. He's going to blow this thing for everyone. And once again, Elsie bears the brunt of everyone's frustration. But yet again, I feel like Tony Fleece is tapping into some emotional undertones that we as readers have been holding inside as well. And then Elsie follows Lord out of the room to talk further. And he finally unleashes everything he's been holding in, and this is a standout scene in this book in my opinion. Lord goes from bumbling idiot cat to an adult cat. This scene almost serves as a rite of passage for him in this series. I had a permanent home, Elsie, before you dragged me out into the woods and threw me away. And then I found another permanent home without you. Then you showed up, and in less than a week the house devolves into a massacre. I'm not the screw up here, Elsie. Everybody loves having me around. You know you're the one who's going to mess it all up. It's what you always do. This scene is intense, raw, and cathartic, finally voicing what readers have been likely thinking this entire time. And take a look at the expressive nature of Lord. It's a side of him that we have not seen so far, and I would have to say that it's refreshing to see this. During this exchange, we also see Elsie's spirit guide trying to manifest itself, but it is never able to do so completely. And in some way, this parallels Elsie's current struggle. Even though she's trying to make the right decisions and be the voice of reason, people still are not willing to give her credit for it. And fine by me. This entire series has essentially been a series of unfortunate decisions made by Elsie. And this comic concludes with Lucky confiding in Elsie that everyone is handling the Pet City cats all wrong. They're not wise old kings, they're creepy shut-ins. I didn't almost die getting in here just to have these soft, fat losers tell me what to do. Lucky then reveals his real plan. He is a cat of opportunity and wants to take over Pet City, among other things. You're smarter than them, Elsie. You know how to handle a situation like this. Let them think they are in charge. Say whatever they need to hear, and you stay alert. You keep your eyes open, and the minute you see your opportunity, the second you see what you want, you take it. And then we get to the final page, and it shows exactly what Lucky wants. Elsie and Gigi. He's playing them both. Sly, manipulative, and dangerous. And just another action that could most certainly drive our group further apart for all the wrong reasons. Feral issue number 14 is heavy on character development. Elsie remains the scapegoat, of course, with Gigi, Lord, and Lucky each criticizing her, but Tony Fleece continues to make these cats very human and very relatable. The guilt and shame on her face is brought to life beautifully by Trish Forstner's emotive artwork, and the tension between characters is palpable. The cultish Pet City setting is unsettling and fascinating. It's amazing that even 14 issues into this series, the quality of the narrative and the artwork has remained high. In today's comic industry, most series would have already switched the writer and the artist, and at that point, as you all know, quality starts to dip. So I'd like to say thanks to this creative team for giving us their best each and every issue. The group's future here remains grim, given the rigid rules, and the fractures in their relationships are growing deeper. Pet City might feel like a sanctuary, but it's shaping up to be another nightmare, rooted in real-world issues. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So there you have it. Feral number 14 pulls no punches. From the unsettling introduction to Pet City's eerie rules and rituals, to the raw emotional confrontations between our main characters, this issue shows just how fractured this group has become. Elsie's guilt, Lord's anger, Gigi's skepticism, and Lucky's hidden agenda all collide here in ways that are both heartbreaking and fascinating to watch. And just when you think you know where this story is going, Lucky's true intentions and the disturbing realities of Pet City raise even more questions about what this group's future will ultimately be. But what do you think of Pet City? Do you trust Lucky's plan, or is he playing a dangerous game? Do you think Elsie got what she deserved in this issue? And how long can this fragile group hold together before it all falls apart? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Comic Drops for more breakdowns like this, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this wild ride. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.